Hello and welcome to Monona Grove High School. I'll be your host, Paul Cosmerl, the voice of Monona Grove Wrestling. Tonight we'll be watching the Monona Grove McFarland Silver Eagles and Spartans versus the Milton Redhawks. Warming up for the action, we have our varsity meet. This is the fourth year of the McFarland Monona Grove Wrestling Co-op. It's about the third incarnation of it. Each school has struggled to get some numbers for wrestling, so they've been able to join together. This is their fourth year. The first 2 years were JV only. Second year competing in varsity. This is also their second match versus the Milton Redhawks. They met them last year. Had a learning experience, losing 75-3. However, it's looking like an up year for the club. The JV club just eked out a victory in their dual meet right before this. Wrestlers have moved to their respective sidelines, preparing for introductions. It looks like we'll be starting with the 132-pound weight class tonight. We'll be working through 14 weight classes, beginning at the lightest of 106. The highest weight class is 285. We'll be starting somewhere right around the middle there at 132. We'll work up the weights to 285 and then start over again at 106. Some of you out there may be a little bit unfamiliar with wrestling, so I'll go over a little bit of a primer. Beginning of each match, both wrestlers will start in the center on their feet. It's 2 points for a takedown. Takedown is you bring someone down to the mat and you exercise control. Once you're on the mat, there are a few things can happen. One, the player who's been taken down can escape for 1 point. Another option is if they never escape, but they get what is called a reversal, they can get 2 points themselves. And we'll be pausing for the national anthem. Again, we will be starting with the 132-pound weight class with Austin Harms from Milton and Caitlin Gunderson for the Silver Eagles. We begin, a little bit of tying up, quick shot. Nice sprawl there by Caitlin, creating that space. Oh, he's driving her over for 2. She's fighting. Nice roll. Nice fight. Nice fight. Now, what you'll see throughout the night here is essentially you're just trying to take control of your opponent. I know that's a little bit obvious, but that's what every move really comes down to. So right now he's gotten his 2 points for the takedown. He had her back exposed to the mat for greater than 2 seconds, but not quite 5. So he got 2 back points, and now most of their supports, most of their legs and knees were out of bounds, so we'll start this back up. We will not start up. After that takedown, Caitlin still is down. She'll have to get out of there. So that's an opportunity where you can win 1 point for escaping, bringing it back to neutral where you're both on the mat. We have a good arm bar there from Austin Harms, tilting her over. You can see the referee starting to count some back points. He did secure 2 back points, and he switched his hold, so he got those points awarded to him, and now he's continuing to work on top. See, he's working slightly to the left. He has control of that hip, and he has gotten a chicken wing where he has his arm on her back through her arm. At this point, he's released that, but he does have an arm pinned on her back. Now he's reached through and found that other arm, working to tilt it over. Caitlin is giving up a great fight. Starting to count those back points. Her back is not quite down. The referee is looking. He has settled it in. And Austin Harms begins the match with a pin for the Milton Redhawks. Very well fought by Caitlin. She had her back exposed a few times, fought valiantly, and staved off the pin for quite a while. So what you'll see here is, again, giving a little bit of a primer for those who may not be familiar with the rules of wrestling. There's 3 2-minute periods. We'll be getting a forfeit here at the 138-pound weight class for Levi Garrett. And we'll be moving on to the 145-pound weight class with Vince DeGennaro from Milton. He's actually receiving a forfeit as well. Then we'll be moving on to the 152-pound weight class with Jordan Stivius from Milton, and we will have a wrestler, Tyson White, from Monona Grove, McFarland. Going back, so we have the 3 2-minute periods. During those, you're accumulating individual points. If you pin your opponent, if you have control of both of their shoulder blades on the mat for essentially any amount of time, the counting is not for pins, you are awarded a pin, also known as a fall, which is worth 6 team points. If you ever get up by 15 points or more in an individual match, it is considered a technical fall, and the team is awarded 5 team points. If you go the full duration of the 3 periods and you win by 8 or more points, but you never get to that 15-point threshold, you will be awarded 4 team points. And then, of course, and that's considered a major decision. A minor decision is winning by 7 points or less, where you earn 3 team points. The team points are really what we're accumulating here. And with a pin, and the forfeits are also considered a pin, we've got Milton out to an 18-0 lead as we begin our 152-pound weight class. Quick head tie up. Both wrestlers feeling each other out. What you really want to do here is you want to create a little bit of space and attack. Milton has gotten a takedown here, straight to the back. We're going to have a good fight from Tyson White of Monona Grove, McFarland. He has hipped over, gotten himself free, so there were 3 back points earned, but he does get a point for that escape, and now we're back up to neutral. He's in on a shot, doesn't quite have control, needs to suck that in. Maybe he'll let it go. Okay. Both wrestlers sprawl out of it. A sprawl is where you forcefully bring your hips back to not allow your opponent to get control of those legs. Control of your head and your legs, particularly your hips, is what wrestling is all about. We have a little mini shot there. I believe that's resulted in a head and arm lock for our Milton wrestler. He's running it around, trying to secure 2 points for control. There, it's awarded by the referee. You can see him hold up 2 fingers on his arm with the red armband. All right, our wrestler Jordan. All right, they've gone out of bounds. They'll start again from the center with Tyson down. Current score is 7-1 Milton in this individual match with about 30 seconds left. About 30 seconds left. Tyson is doing a good job. Oh, he's gotten a hold of his head. All right, not able to turn that into anything, but he's doing a great job getting up and out of bounds. He was doing a great job there getting to his feet, and he caught the Milton wrestler, Jordan, a little bit high, and so he may have been able to shake him off, but they wound up out of bounds. He's doing a great job getting to his feet. Now we're going to fight for control of the hands. He's brought back down to the mat. You'll see that when they're down on the mat, the Milton wrestler, Jordan Stivius, he is not able to... Oh, there we go, the end of the first period. Getting back to that thought, just as again, the educational primer, you can lock your hands around someone's waist when you're up on your feet in a neutral position, also when you are in a pinning combination. But when you're just riding someone out, that's not considered an aggressive enough move. It would be considered delaying, and so it's its own form of delay for locking hands. To begin the second period, Jordan Stivius of Milton has begun in the down position. Reading a good ride from Tyson White. He's fighting for hand control. See him working over to the right side, keeping hip pressure down. All right, he's got, with a switch, it looks like, all right, not quite able to get a reversal, but Jordan Stivius does earn himself an escape, 1 point for the escape. 8-1, and now we're in on a shot by Tyson White. Got to be careful on the edge of the mat here. There we go. May have been able to hear the coaches exhorting him to keep his hips under him. That's your, that's a great double leg shot. There it is. He gets control. He earns 2 points for the takedown. A shot is kind of a funny term, part of a wrestling lexicon. It's when you attack your opponent's legs. Looks like we had a reversal scored there. It's currently 10-3 with about 45 seconds left in the second period. He has you'll notice, he just lost it. He had a leg in there, controlling Tyson's leg. Maneuver called just throwing your leg in. Sometimes people will refer to it as getting a boot in. It really helps you control that wrestler on the bottom. You can see he's working to get that wrist control. He almost had his hand pinned against his own back. Didn't quite get it. He did have a shoulder hold there. All right, he turned him over. He's starting to get back points. Referee's counting it out. Still in the same hold, so he will not reward the points until that hold is lost or the period ends. And it looks like he assigned 3 back points. He did get the full 5 seconds. That brings our score in this 152-pound match to 13-3. The beginning of the third period, with an election to begin this period in a neutral position. Takedown after a bit of a scrum, bringing the score to 15-3. With a 12-point lead, a 3-point near fall combination would give Milton the technical fall worth 5 team points. Tyson White is working to get his base. See him build that base. You'll hear that terminology quite a bit around the wrestling mat. When you're down, you really have no power. There's nothing to do when you are flat on the ground. So you're working to get to that base, similar to how you start the period here, or restart a match. About a minute and 15 seconds left in the third period. Now that looks similar to a takedown, but he already had control. He was in the top position, so that is just maintaining. There's no points awarded for that. A minute left. He almost gets in a half Nelson. That's where you come up under someone's arm and get a hold of their head or neck. It's a very, very common maneuver for turning someone over onto their back. What Tyson White is hoping for here at the 40-second mark left in the third period, he's hoping to get some fireworks. The current score being 15-3. You can't score 12 points in 30 seconds, most likely. So he's still down. He's going to need a quick combination, either a quick escape and then try for a throw rather than a simple shot for a takedown. Oh, he did get himself up. Oh, he's gotten his back. It looks like we are getting a signal from the referee for locking hands. So the Milton wrestler in the top position, he locked his hands while the wrestler was down, and so we are awarded 1 point to Monona Grove McFarland. It is now 15-4 with 20 seconds left. All right, he's gotten himself up. He's going to need a quick escape. Doesn't quite get it. It's a good fight. He's gotten himself up a few times. It's, as you can imagine, very difficult to bring yourself up and get back to neutral from that bottom position. Even on that one with a very near escape. Jordan Stivius from Milton holds him down for the major decision, 15-4. With 4 more team points, Milton takes a 22-0 lead. We'll be moving on to the 160-pound weight class with Nick Richards, a senior from Milton, facing Connor Jacobson, a sophomore from Monona Grove McFarland. So as I begun saying earlier, this is the 4th year of the Monona Grove McFarland Co-op, 2nd year wrestling varsity. Team is gaining a lot of experience, looking quite impressive, especially in comparison to last year, their first year as a varsity team. This is quite a turnaround. All right, we had a quick takedown there while I was gabbing. Nick Richards scores 2. And now you can see he's got that half Nelson in. He's starting to run it over. Looks like a pretty good stick there. A very, very good fight from Connor Jacobson. See how he's throwing his hips, contorting himself so that that second shoulder blade does not touch the mat. But Nick Richards is able to get him. He got him in a good hold. There's really not much you can do when a great hold has you with absolutely no leverage like that. His legs were not on the ground. You really need that leverage to be able to push off. That was a great move there by Nick Richards, the senior from Milton. With that pin, that brings Milton's team point total to 28. The individual points are wiped off the board, and we start over. Starting the first period, as always, in a neutral position. Great ankle pick by Zach Long. It's Zach Long of Monona Grove McFarland and Devin Miller of Milton. That was a really wonderful ankle pick there. And the escape, so we're back up to neutral. Oh man, he has got that move down. Look at that. Another one, they're out of bounds. He's still in control on top, up 4-1. We'll see what his tactics are here. They start, he's able to get a nice tight waist, pulls that arm in. Milton's Devin Miller is able to get to his feet and turn around, bring it back to neutral. 1 point for the escape. It's 4-2. 1 minute and about 15 seconds left in the first period. Zach Long is looking strong, looking like he's in control of this match. Obviously, early on, it's only 4-2, but he's looking good. Let's see if we can get another takedown here with 1 minute left in the first period. Quick little shot from Devin Miller of Milton. You can see Zach Long here is in a nice, strong, square stance. A lot of leaning going on, a lot of head tying. You'll see that more and more as you go up in the weight classes. Oh, that was a very quick move. Not enough control on the mat to be considered a takedown yet. And they're out of bounds. So they'll start on their feet. There are no points awarded in that scrum. As you go up the weight classes from 106 to 285, the matches start to look less like bees and more like a bear fight. A lot more leaning. A little more, a nice quick shot to the leg. And then the back trip doesn't quite get him, but he keeps his toes in bounds for the takedown. The easiest way to describe, it's obviously a little fluid around the outside of the mat. As far as when they're deemed out of bounds. The easiest way to describe it is so each wrestler is going to have 2 points of contact for support. When 3 of those, so 4 total, when 3 of those are out of bounds, you're considered out of bounds. So even though the Milton wrestler was almost entirely out of bounds there, Zach Long was able to keep his toes up, in bounds, did not go down to his knees, so he got awarded the takedown. He is currently up 6-2. We've moved into the second period. He started in the up position. Let's see, did he award an escape? No. He still had that ankle, and so we are still with Zach Long of Monona Grove McFarland riding on top. And Devin Miller down. He sits out. That's a good start. He gets that sit, works around. He does a little reshot, as we call it. Gets 2 points for the reversal to Devin Miller of Milton. You'll hear that term reshot. So as I was saying, when you're in a neutral position and you shoot in on someone's legs, we'll call it a shot. And when you do not yet have an escape and you attack someone's legs like that, as if you had been neutral, we'll call it a reshot. So he does not get 1 point for an escape, but he does get the 2 for the reversal. Looks like he has some hip control over on the right side. Kind of doing a little hand fighting in there, trying to get control of the wrists so that he can get a nice turn by Zach Long. Quick escape. Looks like we're back up to neutral, and the score is currently 7-4. Monona Grove McFarland over Milton in this 170-pound weight class. 45 seconds left in the second period. Zach Long reaching in, attempting going kind of loosely in for that third ankle pick takedown. Good job by Devin Miller to keep his legs back. Wrestlers wind up out of bounds there. We'll restart in the neutral position again with Zach Long up 7-4. All right, wrestlers feeling each other out. Not quite a takedown. Didn't get around. Didn't cover the hips. Didn't get control. 10 seconds left in the second period. And he does. He manages to get around on the second try at a nearly similar move. This will ride out the second period. So far, Zach Long is in control, up 9-4. We're starting the third period. Looks like it was his choice for the third period, and he chose down. When a wrestler chooses down, you're obviously at a bit of a disadvantage. It's clearly advantageous to be up on top, but you are counting on yourself to be able to get a quick escape or reversal. He's looking pretty good, keeping a strong base. Oh, just as I said it, he loses it. Sorry that I opened my mouth, Zach. I apologize. He's fighting well. He's fighting very well. Gets back up to that strong base. Does not allow that half Nelson to get in. Almost sits out and gets a switch for a reversal. Switch is a... Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, doesn't quite get out. Milton wrestler still in control. Zach Long of Monona Grove McFarland up 9-4 with 1 minute and 23 seconds left in the third period. Zach's looking for the, great job getting straight to his feet. He's working on the wrists, Doesn't quite get the escape yet because Milton has gotten the leg. So he hasn't gotten the escape yet. He'll start down again. He's up 9-4, looking strong, looking in control so far. At this point in the match, you're thinking about getting yourself up and not doing anything to expose yourself in a weak position where you could be turned. The Milton wrestler, Devin Miller, that's what he's got to be thinking right now. He's happy to be on top because he is thinking, I want to turn him, and this is the best position I can be in. If Zach doesn't get up in the next 30 seconds or so with about 50 seconds left, there we go. We got him a little high. Zach's going to try to shake him off. He got it. He had to get a little aggressive because Zach's up by 5 points. There we go. We are almost there. If he is able, he's all right. Unfortunately for Monona Grove McFarland, we had a stalemate. That's where the referee basically decides that neither wrestler is gaining advantage or in a position to put themselves into a better position, and so we'll just call a stalemate. Let's start it over. Zach Long earns the escape to go up 10-4 with 30 seconds left. Now we're down to 23 seconds. Now the major thing that he needs to concern himself with is not getting thrown. What we've seen to this point tonight is a lot of shots. What we are likely going to see is a quick throw attempt from our Milton wrestler, Devin Miller. 15 seconds left. He's got a nice head tie up. I would expect a throw to come in these last 10 seconds. Not quite getting it. Going for the shot. That was a pretty good opportunity, but Zach Long is happy to just give up those 2 points and take the 10-6 victory, putting Monona Grove McFarland on the board. It is now 28 Milton and 3 Monona Grove McFarland. That was a well-thought match. Let's call it a regular old slobber knocker. Moving on, we'll go to the 182-pound weight class. Billy Pitner, a senior from Milton, and Hans Schwerer from Monona Grove McFarland. Both wrestlers ready to go, shake hands. Feeling each other out. Milton wrestler has an advantage there. Oh my, on the takedown attempt where Milton was in control, he got himself very exposed with his back to the mat, is able to recover, complete the move for 2 points on the takedown. With 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the first period, Billy Pitner of Milton is up 2-0. He has exposed the back of Hans Schwerer, and he earns himself 2 near fall points, also referred to as back points. We have a new hold. It's a cradle. Doesn't control it for long enough to get any back points. You have to expose that. Oh, there we go. He got a 1 count. Restarts. He gets, I believe he got that 2nd count. We'll see. Now we're fighting that pin. Everything you have. Now we have a big neck bridge from Hans. But on the reload, fighting that pin, he let both shoulder blades rest on the mat. That was a very strong and aggressive move by Billy Pitner. Great work down there. Earns himself the pin. That brings the team score to 34-3. as we enter the 195-pound weight class. You can see Michael Hoy from Monona Grove, McFarland, checking in at the table, along with Jerry Lipke from Milton. I always find it a little bit funny that we have to check in at the table during a dual meet. I never really knew what to say myself. What do? Walk up there and say, I'm the person you just said my name. I'm Paul. All right. Quick little shot from Milton. Fighting it off, sprawling his legs back. Ooh, on the reshot, Milton gets the takedown. All right, looks like he has some wrist control, isn't quite able to either reach it from his other leg with his other arm from between the legs. With an armed in the crotch hold, it's a very strong hold. Not much you can do when someone has you pinned down like that. Oh, now we do have the arm pinned on the back. We have an arm bar. A little bit hard to see from my angle if he still has a strong arm bar. There we can see he does. He has the arm of Michael Hoy pinned behind him. There we go. He got a 1 count, I believe. I don't think he'll get back points for that one. All right, so it's still 2-0. There's 45 seconds left. Michael Hoy did a really great job on a couple of near-fall opportunities for Jerry Lipke of Milton, fighting those off, never even giving 2 seconds of back exposure. So he has staved off any near-fall points. It is merely 2-0, a minute and a half into this first period. A little action to the side. You always want to see those wrestlers on top. They've got to keep themselves active. We have time called. Oh, it's for equipment. The headgear of our wrestler Michael Hoy slipped down off of his head. As he fixes that, he'll start in the down position. There's 17 seconds left in the first period. It's 2-0 Milton. There we go. Gets himself up to a foot, gives up an arm. It's all right. We got 12 seconds left. It's important that you don't have a letdown at this stage of a period. So for the wrestler on top, you definitely do not want to give up an escape in the waning seconds. There we go. We get through that period. Again, Michael Hoy did a great job for Monona Grove McFarland. He was in a few tough situations, turned through his back a few times, but never was in enough control or for long enough to give up any back points. Looks like Jerry Lipke has elected the down position for the beginning of the second period. Michael Hoy doesn't look like he received a caution from the referee. You have to cover the navel and the elbow of your opponent. And all right, good aggressive wrestling. Looks like he didn't have one of those bases covered. So he got a caution. Oh, there's a reverse. All right. There's a reverse. Let's see how he is at fighting this off again. So he's kind of in a handy position over there because his shoulders are out of bounds, and like I said, it gets a little sticky. A little bit of testiness there. That's 1 point awarded for misconduct penalty to Milton. The misconduct penalty going to Monona Grove McFarland, that is, and 1 point is awarded to Milton. After 2 back points, that makes it 5-0. As I was saying before, he was in a good position over there because it was a very compromising position with his back exposed to the mat, but as it gets a little fuzzy on the edges of the mat, his back was actually out of bounds. Their main supports, they were both on their knees, were inbounds. So they were still inbounds, and his back was very exposed, but there were no back points awarded because the scoring body part, the scoring section was located out of bounds. Anyway, you got 1 minute left in the second period. Michael Hoy's doing a great job down there. He's fighting. He's getting back up to his base, getting his knees. What he really needs to do is get that arm back. Jerry Lipke has gotten that arm control, and he's started to tilt him over. We've got a 4 count and a 5 count. So if and when this is held off, well, a pin is awarded. Those near fall points are not awarded until after that sequence is over. The reasoning being, for the most part, the reasoning being at least, that you don't want those points if you're near a technical fall, if you're near 15 points. You'd rather get that extra team point for the pin. So we don't award the back points until the sequence is over. Now, we were not in that situation here. We were not anywhere near a 12-point deficit. But in that case, you don't want to be awarded 3 points when you could have gotten a pin. It also makes it easier for the referee because you don't award those points until the end, and you also don't give points for the same hold being tilted over twice. All right, we begin the 220-pound match. We're about 15 seconds in. It's John Keller from Milton High School, and Reese Barker of Monona Grove McFarland puts him to his back. He's got a head and arm, headlock combination, working it over. See how he stays up on his toes, keeps that pressure down on him. Yeah, grabs a leg even. Nope, didn't quite get the leg. Now this Milton wrestler wants to tilt him over. He's going to try to roll with him. So he's fighting, and then he's going to try to throw a roll and bring him onto his back, but not before the pin is awarded to Reese Barker in the 220-pound weight class. Reese Barker wrestling up a weight class from the 195-pound weight class up against the 220-pounder from Milton High School, and he sticks him in the first period. Great work there. That's 6 points to Monona Grove McFarland's point total. That brings it to 40-9. We'll get another 6 points on the heavyweight 285-pound match. Being a forfeit makes it a little bit closer to 40-15. And now we will move down to the 106-pound weight class. We started with 132. So we have 4 matches left here. Monona Grove down by 25 team points. Very attainable. Very attainable. This is where it's a combination of an individual sport and a team sport. To get 25, I guess it's not actually attainable. To get 25 points, you would need a 5th match with 6 points for a pin and 4 left. That's only 24 available points. So this one is wrapped up for Milton on the team side, but we still have 4 matches to go. There was a takedown awarded for Milton there. It's Mason Dutcher of Milton riding on top with Austin Burbach on bottom for Monona Grove McFarland. He has an arm. He has a nice chin hold with that arm. He's turned him over. He's gotten his back points. Now we have a fight from Austin. Not much you can do. We got the double grapevine in. That takes away your whole base. Excuse me. And that's a pin for Milton. A pin with 1:22 left in the first period. Not much to do in that situation. It was a good fight. When you get that headlock and you turn someone over, you usually prefer to be off to the side so that you can continue to drive them. But in that scenario, he wound up right over the top of him with that headlock. And when you're square over the top, you can just wrap both of your legs, intertwine them into theirs as Milton takes a forfeit. That's Brandon Whitehead in the 113-pound weight class. But on that last pin, he had a good headlock in. he was right square on top of him, and so he was able to just lace both of his legs inside of his, kick those up, and there's really no base left for a fight. And that's what added up to that pin there. All right, for the 120-pound weight class, we have Dalton Shay, a senior from Milton. Strong wrestler, had a great season last year. He'll be facing Hunter Haas, a sophomore from Monona Grove, McFarland. Dalton Shay comes out aggressively, gets in on a single leg shot, turns it into a double. Gets the quick takedown with 1:50 left in the first period. Looks like he's working hard to gain an advantage on the upper body there, kind of leaving the legs alone. He's feeling comfortable getting off to the side and riding. You always want to see that from your wrestlers when they're in the top position. In the top position, there's a tendency to just think of it as riding instead of aggressively trying to turn your opponent sometimes. A good conscientious referee is quick to slap the delay of game stalling penalty on those riders who are not getting off to the side and being active. Now Dalton's being very active here, and we're stopped for potentially dangerous. They'll call potentially dangerous anytime that a joint may be nearing the end of its limberness. In that particular scenario, when you have an arm in a half Nelson like that and your elbow goes beyond the middle of your head. Hunter managed to never expose his back for very long, so there were no near fall points awarded. As you can see, the referee kind of holding his hand straight up there for a second. He was indicating, like, yes, you are in a pinning combination, but you have not gotten him to 45 degrees where you'd be getting back points. Oh, he's got a leg hooked. He also has a solid half Nelson in. And it's a pin. Good sportsmanship there from Dalton Shay helping up his opponent. They shake hands, and he's awarded 16 points. The current score is 58 to 15. We'll be entering our last match of the evening, the 126-pound match between Tyler Kirsten of Milton and Isaac Becker of Monona Grove, McFarland. Again, it's been very impressive to see this growth of this team for Monona Grove, McFarland. Last year, this dual meet was 75 to 3. That was 12 pins, 1 minor decision for Milton and 1 minor decision for Monona Grove. This is a very, very impressive growth for Monona Grove McFarland in 1 year to close this down to 58 to 15. All of these matches have been aggressive, been very competitive. 1 or 2 quick pins, but that's not always indicative of a bad match. Sometimes you just get stuck. You get hit with a good move, and well, they're going to get you, whether that's in the first period, second period, or third period. All right. Good shot there from our Isaac Becker of Monona Grove McFarland. Sprawled out. Goes for the throw. Doesn't quite get it. When you go for that home run, go for that throw, you expose yourself. So he gives up the takedown. It was a pretty decent opportunity. I'll give that to him. He had Tyler Kirsten in a little bit of an off-balance position. He had his arms down. He went for that hip throw. You throw your hips, and you pull on the near arm and throw your other arm above their head. Try to twist them right into the mat. Didn't quite hit it. It's okay. Now he's fighting on the bottom. He has looks like Tyler has a good arm bar in there, double arm bar. He's also digging his head into the back of his shoulder, which some folks call a coffee grinder. Just learned that term relatively recently. I always just called it digging your head into someone's shoulder. There was a potentially dangerous situation there. You'll often get that with a double arm bar. It's hard not to. As soon as there's any force and you have a double arm bar in, they start to slide up into the shoulders, which creates a dangerous situation. That's why it's still 2-0. 2-0 with Milton riding on top with about 30 seconds left in the first period. Still has that arm bar, but Isaac Becker of Monona Grove McFarland has his base. He's up on his knees. Hard to get turned over when you have that much strength and power in that base position. So he'll fight to keep that. See Tyler Kirsten is wrestling him down, trying to swing him over, use some momentum to break him down. He chops his arm, gets him down, but just at the end of the period. So Monona Grove McFarland defers the choice at the beginning of the second period, and it looks like Milton's Tyler Kirsten chooses the down position. Again, he is betting on himself that he will be able to earn an escape or a reversal before any back points would be awarded, and there it is. Pretty quick, he was able to get a nice sit out and dig his arm into the legs of his opponent for the switch. We got the escape and a quick reshot there by Isaac Becker. Fighting, gonna work him down. Gets his 2 points for the takedown. That makes it 4-3 for Milton's Tyler Kirsten. Nice fight there. I really like that. You come up, you get your escape, you have your opponent a little bit on their heels, thinking, okay, we're gonna settle in, do a little hand fighting, and you just aggressively attack. I love that move. Nice work there, Isaac. All right, we got a sit out from Milton, and you see there it was just not quite a great situation, so he lets him go, gives him the escape. That puts Milton up 5-3. He got really deep on a shot. It's a tricky situation there with your head so deep in between someone's legs, but it is a relatively strong one. As you can see, he pops his head out and he gets 2 points for the takedown. That makes it 7-3 for Tyler Kirsten with 45 seconds left in this second period in our last match of the evening, the 126-pound weight class. He's riding slightly off to the right. He has a bit of an arm bar in. Not enough to run it. Not enough to try to run it over the side yet. For that, you usually want to get a little more control of that other wrist. While I was saying that, he was able to get that other wrist. There we go. He's able to turn him. He got to a 3 count for the near fall. Now you can see he's holding that other arm out. He's got his left arm underneath the lower back. That was a great. Did he manage to get his escape? No, stayed down. Okay, so we had a successful pinning combination that he was able to hold for more than 5 seconds. That's with either one of Isaac's shoulder blades were down or his back was exposed at a lower than 45-degree angle. He was able to get out of the hold, but he wasn't quite able to get back into a neutral stance, and so he did not get his 1 point for the escape. It is currently 10-3 with Tyler Kirsten of Milton in control. He gets that 2 more points to put him up 12-3 with that takedown. You see Isaac there, he had his choice of what position they would take for the third period, and he chose the neutral position. Pretty standard choice when you're down by a few. Looks like we have a turn. He's fighting. He turns to hip over. You see his hips swinging over. I can't see how close that shoulder blade is to the mat. It looks like he's kind of posting up with his right arm. Now he's going to try the twist. You see that double grapevine in. This is a tough spot, and he is able to get the pin. Tyler Kirsten of Milton over Isaac Becker of Monona Grove McFarland. With those 6 points on the team score, that makes it 64-15. Milton, the Red Hawks of Milton have defeated the Silver Eagles of Monona Grove and the Spartans of McFarland. Again, they wrestled together. A well-fought match. Milton had a hard-earned victory there. Again, 64-15 is the final team score as we watch our wrestlers shake hands, display some good sportsmanship. Thank you for tuning in to Monona Community Media's first ever wrestling match. I'm Paul Cosmerl, the voice of Monona Grove Wrestling. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will be carrying the January 27th, I believe, match. That will be our next one. It'll be senior night for the Monona Grove wrestlers. Again, this is Paul Cosmerl, the voice of Monona Grove Wrestling. We just saw Milton defeat Monona Grove McFarland 64-15 in a well-fought match. You can see the growth from year to year of this Monona Grove McFarland team. Lots of improvements. Seen a lot of growth. It was a good evening. Thank you very much for tuning in.